Good morning, everyone. So welcome to our webinar. Thank you for being here. We've got Christian Watcham-Roy presenting today on our webinar, Turn It Up to 11 with the BenQ Webcam. And he's going to be discussing the ways you can accessorize your BenQ board with our webcams. We've also got Sheldon. He's going to be manning the chat and answering any questions you guys have. If you could just, if you do have a question, just throw it in the chat box and Sheldon will help you out there, or else we will answer it at the very end in our Q&A. So I will turn it over to Christian and we can get started.
All right, well, thanks, Talia. I appreciate it. Welcome, everyone, to Turn It Up to 11 with your BenQ Webcam. I'm Christian Watcham with BenQ North America. I'm an FAE. And yeah, so for those of you that don't actually know where the term Turn It Up to 11 comes from, it's actually from a classic movie called Spinal Tap. And there's a scene in Spinal Tap where Nigel is trying to explain to his producer why his Marshall amplifier actually goes up to 11 and not just 10. And, you know, because 11 is one more than 10, so that's one louder. And the producer is really stumped and he's like, why isn't 10, why didn't they just make 10 the loudest? So that's where Turn It Up to 11 comes from. So as you can see now, it's the picture of his Marshall amplifier turned up all the way to 11. So I'm going to start off this presentation slowly. I'm going to show you some use cases for the webcams, how you can actually accessorize not only your boards, but also your classroom with the webcam. So these webcams are not just compatible with our boards, they're compatible with any PC. And I'll show you some cool tips and tricks. And like I said, use cases on how to actually use the webcams with your PCs and also with the boards. So the basis for this webinar was actually to amplify your user experience. So I'm going to show you how to expand the capabilities of your BenQ board, some video conferencing stuff thrown in there, unlock some new teaching tools with a webcam on your board. And I'm going to actually show you how with our new RM and RP03 series, how adding a webcam to your board actually turns it to an all-in-one video conferencing hub. So this is great for boardrooms, for anyone that's doing distance learning. So we're going to go over that. We're going to show you some tips and tricks and how easily it is to actually throw a webcam on this board and start video conferencing from absolutely any device. So like I said, device compatibility. So obviously the BenQ webcams, we guarantee that they're going to be compatible with our boards. Not all webcams are compatible with these boards. So, you know, just better off going with a BenQ webcam, you know, it's going to work. And we're going to go over some webcam lingo. I'll try and explain as best as I can some of this, some of the terms that I'm going to use and where some of these control protocols and the ways that we're actually going to hook these webcams up and how they work. And as always, everything that I'm going to do on this presentation are done with free BenQ tools. So just keep that in mind. It's a BenQ philosophy that all of our software is open source, so you can get your hands on it. Even if you don't have a BenQ board, I'll show you how to give some of our whiteboarding features a try and how you can try it out with a webcam. So what I have right behind me is the BenQ RP03 series. This is our latest and greatest board. This is our premium series board. And if you want to go check it out, all throughout this webinar, I'm going to encourage everyone to have their cell phone or their tablet close, something with a camera that they can scan a QR code with. So There we go. So we're going to start off with our base model. So this is the DVY31. So as you can see, this is a picture of the DVY31. Right out of the box, it comes with a privacy shutter. So if ever you're concerned with privacy while you're not using your webcam, you can just flip it down. That's pretty standard on most webcams. And we'll just run through we'll do a quick overview of the specs of the camera. So this is a 1080p full HD cam. There are built-in microphones that'll pick people up about 16 feet away from the webcam. It is Zoom certified. So for those of you that don't know what Zoom certified means, is that this camera will actually work with your Zoom Room system. So if you do have a Zoom Room system in your conferencing space or in your classroom at the moment, this camera will actually be recognized by your Zoom Room. All of these have been vetted by Zoom, and they're actually available on their product page for the Zoom Rooms under the compatible webcams option. And they're USB plug and play, so obviously they don't require any drivers. You just plug it into your devices and it will work. So the first thing I'm going to show you how to do. So what I've actually got right now is I've got my Chromebook right here with a BenQ webcam. So I have the DVY21, the predecessor to the DVY31, hooked up to my Chromebook. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to actually share my Chromebook to the board using our BenQ InstaShare wireless casting system. So this BenQ InstaShare 2, actually I should say, developed in-house by BenQ, comes built into all of our interactive flat panels and our digital signage boards. So this will allow you to actually cast any device to the board. And I'm going to show you a use case that I came up with for having a webcam in your classroom or in your boardroom. So what I've done is I've hooked the webcam up to my Chromebook, and I'm actually going to wirelessly display my Chromebook to the board. So right now you can see the interface for my Chromebook, and I've actually opened up our BenQ EasyWrite 6 whiteboard software, and this is available on any device through the web app. So I've actually thrown a link up to the web app for this. Sheldon is actually going to drop it in the chat, and there'll be a QR code that you can scan in a moment to have access to the web application version of EasyWrite 6. So as you can see, this is my whiteboard interface. I'm casting my Chromebook to the board wirelessly. And what I'm going to do, I'm actually going to open up the webcam sharing option. So let's say there are many use cases for this, but let's say I want to show something that's far away from the board. All I have to do, if my webcam is hooked up to the board, I can steal it off the board, hook it up to a PC, a Mac, or Chromebook, wirelessly cast it to the board from the back of a classroom, or let's say I want to show something that's happening on an assembly line. I can cast that from my device using my webcam, so I can actually show what people are doing, even if I'm really, really far away from the board. So if I'm doing a science project in the back of the classroom, or I want to show something maybe that's even outside of the classroom, I can absolutely do that using the InstaShare system in combination with a webcam. So if you guys have your camera out, you can actually scan this QR code and it'll bring you to the DVY31 product page. You can check out its specs, and you can find it from other distributors online too. I believe it's available on B&H Photo. So if you're looking to get your hands on one right away, you can go through B&H, or you can actually reach out to one of our BenQ resellers. So like I said, I'm starting it off really simple with just a quick use case with our basic camera. And I promise you, I will turn it up to 11 by the end of this webinar. I went pretty late last night getting this all set up for you guys. So I do hope you enjoy it. And we're going to hop over to the next step up in our webcam. So, oh, yes. Also, we all have the link to the EasyWrite 6 web app here. So even if you do not have a BenQ board in your infrastructure, you can actually try the EasyWrite 6 web app from any one of your devices. It is available for Windows, Android tablets, and Chromebooks at the moment, and soon to be released on Mac. So you can also find that on our website on the EasyWrite 6 downloads page. Sheldon, if you can look that up and drop it in the chat. I didn't have it in the document that I sent to you, but the version for the Chromebook and the Android tablet is actually available in the Google Play Store on your device. So just look up BenQ EasyWrite 6, and you'll be able to use our whiteboarding software for free from your device. All right, so the next step up, the DVY32. So this DVY32 is the next step up. It is a 4K webcam. Once again, right out of the box, comes with a privacy shroud. So flip that down when you're not using the camera to make sure that no one can see what's happening. So give you a quick overview of the webcam, and then I'll show you a bunch of cool features that it has and some fun things that we can do directly from the board. So right now my DVY32 is hooked up directly to my BenQ RP03. You can't actually see it because I have it sitting on top of my desk right over here, so that when I turn it on, you actually don't see what's happening backstage. It's a mess. I'm not gonna lie. So, so we have a high performance Sony image sensor with 120-degree field of view. So even if you're right up close to your webcam, it's going to actually capture your face. And it has AI powered auto framing. So what that means is that this camera will actually, if you turn on the auto framing, it'll actually move around with you in the room, and it'll actually capture the person that is speaking and zoom in on that person. So you have the option to turn that on and off. And what's really nice about this camera is that it comes with a remote control out of the box. So you don't actually have to install any control software on your device to control this webcam. So right out of the box, you just grab the remote control, and you can actually change the settings inside of the webcam, create presets, and I'll show you how to do that. H.264 video encoding, and once again, it is Zoom certified. So if you do want to use it with your Zoom room, you can absolutely do that. So once again, quick QR code to link to the product page. If you miss it, Sheldon will actually be sharing a document with all the links to the products that we've used in this presentation at the end. So don't worry if you haven't managed to save the web page. Sheldon is going to share a document with you at the end of the presentation. All right. So now my DVY32 is hooked up to my BenQ board. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is actually the settings inside of the webcam. So I'm going to actually open up my whiteboarding application. So here we go. Just start this over again. Just give me 2 seconds. I know what has happened. Either my Zoom or my Teams app has appropriated itself with my webcam on the board, and I just have to shut it down. So we'll just let's just give this a few seconds. I believe that my Zoom app or my Teams app that I was playing around with earlier has actually taken control of my webcam and won't release it to the EasyWrite software. So I'm just gonna actually shut this down too. Anyhow, we'll get that rolling again. We're gonna hop forward in the presentation to the next webcam. We'll give it one last try. And of course, it was working perfectly well. So I'm gonna hop. So this camera does have built-in AI auto framing. I was gonna show it to you, but it is not cooperating with my board. I'll set something up while we're answering questions to show you how that works a little bit later in the presentation. So we're gonna go over to the DVY23. So the DVY23 is our top of the line pan tilt zoom camera. This camera actually will move, has a moving head that will pan, tilt, and zoom to focus on different objects. You'll see it has a 20 times optical zoom on it. It will pan up to 170 degrees. It has a massive I/O, so it has a USB 3.0 port on it that will actually output video to your BenQ board. It has an HDMI output if you need that. And it also has a 1 gigabit Ethernet port with PoE. So you'll see that my cam right here actually does not have its power supply plugged in. So it's actually going and grabbing its power from my switch. So my switch is actually powering the webcam, and it'll pass the video over your local network to a video decoder for you to use absolutely anywhere in your organization. So let's say I have one of these set up across the building and I'm sitting in my office. I can actually go grab the video feed off of this cam from my office over the local network, which is really, really cool and really useful. It avoids having to set up basically an entire broadcast studio and to have a bunch of different webcams in your infrastructure. No need to pass extra power, just one Ethernet cable to the cam, and you're good to go. So it also has a 3 gigabit SDI output. If ever you are setting up a broadcast studio, that's another way to output video. So you'll see it does have a huge I/O. You'll see it also has the control ports on it. So you can actually control this camera over the LAN, and I'll show you how that's done a little bit later. Oh, someone has unmuted themselves. So, yeah, so really, again, with that one cable, you're if you have a joystick that is Pelco or Visca compatible, you can actually hook that joystick up to your network and control this webcam over your network. So you'll see the I/O on the back of this webcam, pretty impressive. You can even input an external audio source into it. So what I've done for you today is we're going to run through exactly what the webcam does with the remote control, and then we're going to go into some of the web-based applications. So I'm just going to hop over to my webcam input. You'll see that right now it's actually pointing at my aloe vera plant slash science project. And if I grab the remote control, I can actually move the webcam around. So I now have it focused on myself. Right now I'm using the HDMI output into the BenQ board just to show you a few different things. And I can also set different presets for the webcam. So I've set one preset to go look at my plant, and then the other preset to come back and look at myself. So now what I've done here is that I've actually gone into my webcam settings. So I'm actually seeing this video feed over my network. And as you can see, I have all the controls for my DVY23 over my network, so I can adjust it. So even if I'm sitting really far away from my webcam, the other side of the building, as long as we're on the same local network, I can absolutely control the webcam. So what I've done is I've actually grabbed the RTSP stream and I've dumped it into a video encoder. So what happens with this is that now I've actually grabbed my RTSP stream and I can push it out to any streaming service. So I've actually pushed out the webcam stream to a YouTube Live that you guys will actually be able to go see. So as you can see, this is the YouTube live stream for my webcam. And we'll go back over into my presentation. And as you can see, you can actually go to the YouTube live stream by scanning this QR code. So this is all done over the network. So let's say I have people working on an assembly line, or I have a basketball game going on in my gym. I can actually set this stream up and share it with everybody in my school. You'll see we're going to take it a step further a little bit later in the webinar, and I'll show you how you can actually remotely push this YouTube Live out to all of your BenQ boards. So here we go. So I'm going to give you all a second to actually scan this QR code so you guys can actually go see what is going on. And if you scrub right to the end of the YouTube Live, you'll actually be seeing what's going on my webcam live. So this can also be done in an auditorium. So anywhere where your technician will want to set himself up. Let's say you're in an auditorium, there's a show going on. I actually want to present it to the entire school and share the YouTube Live with them. You can go grab the camera feed and set up some microphones, bring those into your PC, and actually share that with everyone. All right, so back to the board. So now that I have my YouTube Live set up and people are, viewing the game that's going on in the gym, a show that's going on in the auditorium, or watching people work on an assembly line, what I can do is if I have some BenQ boards in my environment, I can actually push that YouTube Live stream out to every single one of my boards. So this is not just for boards that are on your local network. This is any board that has been added to your BenQ cloud infrastructure. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually go to our free Xsign broadcast digital signage system, and I'm actually going to create an interrupt. So how I'm going to do that to send the YouTube Live out to my boards, I'm going to create the interrupt by going to my video file, and then I'll enter a YouTube link. So I can select either a single board, all of my boards, or a specific group of boards to push this out to. I can also schedule this to happen, but for today, we're actually just going to send it as an interrupt. So as soon as I hit go, it's going to show up on my board. And you'll see that now it recognizes that it is a YouTube Live video. And I'm going to just make sure that I have the right board selected. Go to video. Paste my YouTube link. I'm just going to make sure that I have the right one. And I'm going to hit confirm. So you'll see that this will actually, I selected my very own board, but I could select any other board that's in my BenQ infrastructure. and you'll see that the BenQ or the live stream that I'd set up on YouTube has just shown up. So now everybody in the school or inside of your organization is actually viewing the game or the what's going on in the auditorium or whatever you want to show them. So people can actually click away from this. You could also share the link with them and they could enter it on the browser on their BenQ board to see the live stream. So there's a bunch of very interesting different use cases for putting this camera on the network. You're going to reduce cabling. You're going to expand the capability of your school or organization to show different events very easily without having to install a giant broadcast studio with all sorts of fancy equipment. All you need is a network, which you probably already have, and your BenQ webcam and a PC, which you already have. So I'm just gonna reboot my board. There's something that's not releasing my other webcam. I really wanted to show you the other stuff that was going on the board. So I'm just, while I'm booting that back up, I don't know if anyone has any questions that they'd like to ask me, but it would be my pleasure to answer them.
Y'all are unmuted, so you can ask any questions you'd like.
So there are a bunch of very interesting things that you can do with BenQ webcams. By adding it to your board, you're actually going to allow yourself to video conference directly from your board. I don't know if anyone has any questions about that, but you can use Zoom, Teams, or Google Meet through the web browser on our boards to actually video conference with your BenQ webcam. There we go. Whoever would not release my DVY23 has now decided to release it, thanks Teams or Zoom. I'm running it in the background on my board. So here we go. So as you can see, what I've done now is I've opened up the whiteboard software on my BenQ board, and I can actually see my webcam. So what I can do with this from here is I can actually grab a screenshot, and if I move this out of the way, you'll actually see this show up on my board. There we go. So I've actually just taken a picture with my webcam, and it's actually shown up on the board. So if ever I want to show something from the board, I can absolutely do that with my BenQ webcam directly from the EasyWrite 6 software. The other thing that these boards do that is really interesting is they'll actually allow you to come grab the BenQ webcam and actually the built-in microphone off of the board when you plug in a USB cable to the board. So this can be done either through the USB-C connection or it can be done through an HDMI with a USB touch cable, which will also allow you to control your PC or your Mac from the board. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to plug my MacBook into the board. Oh. There we go. So right now you can see that I'm actually on my FaceTime application on my MacBook Pro. And I'm actually using the BenQ webcam that's hooked up to the board. So what this means for you is that you can actually have anybody show up from outside of your organization, even if they don't know how to use the board, anything like that. They know how to use their PC. They know how to video conference from their PC. So this is what I was talking about by turning this board into an all-in-one video conferencing hub. So you'll see when I actually go into my FaceTime settings, I can actually select the DVY32 right here from my settings, or I can select my FaceTime camera, and I can actually grab the audio from either this webcam right here by selecting the DVY32 audio, or I can actually use the built-in microphone on the board to video conference from any device. This does not just work on FaceTime. I was just showing FaceTime as a very obscure type of use case, just to show that it can really be used with any video conferencing software. So if you need to FaceTime someone and show the FaceTime conference on the board, you can do that by just plugging in this single USB-C cable. And the beauty of this USB-C cable is, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's actually charging my MacBook at the same time. So it's going to provide you with 60 watts of charging right from the board. And as you can see on the home screen of my board, I have my Teams and my Zoom application installed. So those will absolutely run on the RP03 and the RM03. And by adding a BenQ webcam to the board, you're actually giving yourself the ability to video conference directly from the board. Keep in mind that this will be the mobile experience. This is an Android operating system running on this board, but it does work really quite well. You can share your screen. You can use the Teams whiteboard. You can use the Zoom whiteboard. So people can actually see what you're doing up on the board inside of the meeting when you join from the board, which is kind of cool. Well, for anyone that wants to go see the product page for the DVY23, which is the pan tilt zoom camera that I was showing earlier, with the ability to stream its video over the network, the QR code to the product that links to the product page is up right now. And we'll open it up to Q&A. I don't know if anyone has any questions about a particular webcam or any use cases that you would like to use your webcam with, but just let me know either in the chat or maybe Carly or Talia can unmute your mics.
Hey, Christian, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. So we just have one question. I think Tracy wants, I guess, how can she connect her BenQ board wirelessly?
Okay.
Can you be able to elaborate a little bit more on that question, Tracy?
Well, I'll go into it while she elaborates. So the InstaShare 2 application will actually allow you to share your webcam from any device to the board. So as you can see, I have an iPhone in my hand. I could actually share through the InstaShare 2 app, I can quickly and easily share my webcam to the board. So how I'm going to do that, I've just opened up the InstaShare 2 application on my phone. I'm going to open it up on the board also. And I'm actually going to connect my phone to the board. And you'll see I can actually hit the camera button and then share the camera from my iPhone directly to the board. So this same method applies to any device. So I can share the webcam from my Mac, from my PC, from my Chromebook directly through the InstaShare app and any other webcams that are hooked up to that particular device. Well, if there are no other questions, I'd like to thank everybody for being here. I really appreciate everyone attending. And, you know, a great thing about BenQ is that we have the FAA team, which I am a part of. So if ever you do need help designing your system with a BenQ webcam or have other questions about how you could possibly utilize any one of the webcams that I've shown in this presentation, you can absolutely reach out to myself or Sheldon. So Sheldon, if you can drop our emails down in the chat. So if anyone has any questions after the webinar, they can, you know, contact us by email so we can help them out.
And also this is being recorded and we will send this out to you guys in the next day or so. Also keep an eye out for an email from Starbucks with your free cup of coffee. You'll see a little gift card in there. So keep an eye out for that as well. And we really appreciate everybody joining us today and hope you guys have an awesome rest of your day. Thank you, Christian. I appreciate it.
My pleasure. Take care, everyone. Wishing you a great day.